Critical Hit is a foul-mouthed podcast for adults. Content warnings can be found in the episode description. Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of Critical Hit, a foul-mouthed podcast where we talk about everything. I am your host, Red King, and with me always is Crimson and Chrono Warden.
AI generated.
No, he's real. We don't have enough money to...
Yeah, that'd be way too expensive.
I mean, considering the amount he talks about the hub, he might be an AI generator.
Oh, like an advertising bot.
Ooh, here's the thing. You did me that favor, though. There's the mention, man. I work for the hub.
There it is. He's a bot. It's confirmed.
Tonight, we are talking about Carole and Tuesday, the series. And we're also doing a little sidebar about AI generation, because that's a major theme in that series. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
We're ready.
We are Critical Hit. Carole and Tuesday and AI generation starts now. All right. So, before we begin, we watched a show. Me and the wife, we watched a movie over last weekend, and it was ridiculous.
Okay.
Okay. What do we got?
It's called Machia, When the Promised Flower Blooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is, it was in 2018. It was written and directed by Mari Okada and
Mario got
idiot. Sorry.
What?
Yahoo!
Let's go. Oh my gosh, this is just,
Sorry. Let's go. I got you.
dumb shit that you make me do. Anyways, let's see if I can say it without completely butchering the name. Akihiko Yoshida did the character designs.
Mm-hmm.
He does the art for Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy 12.
Ooh,
Like,
that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
like
Yeah.
really. So it was a fantastic looking, really great. The art was amazing. The characters were adorable, but it was one of those immortal person plot lines
Mm-hmm.
where the main character, like, she lives forever, and she's dealing with all these mortals that will eventually die, and you want to talk about ugly crying? Yeah, that was one of those fucking ones.
Yeah. So
It was absolutely crazy.
it's sad because as soon as I saw it, I looked at it. I was like, that's one of those. Like, that is definitely one of those.
Yeah, it was. I shouldn't have did it to myself, but I did. I was actually surprised because it was one of those things where, like, there are some plot lines that it's almost like the writer is, like, allergic to good things happening.
Yeah.
And this was not one of those. It was, obviously the theme of, like, immortality and, like, how you would deal with people who you love and you cherish, and they're not gonna live forever, but you will. Like, that's a fucking heavy theme.
Yeah.
But they did it in a way where more good things happened than bad things, and it ended making everybody ugly cry, but it was good. It was fucking good.
Yeah. Sad shit works better when there's happy shit between it. Who would have thought?
Yep.
So this is going to be a funny aside, but you remember the episode where Butters goes goth? Or Stan goes goth.
Oh, in South Park.
Oh, yeah.
And Butters is like, happiness is only appreciable if we have sadness to compare it to.
Yes.
Which is weird. Why is South Park going deep like that?
South Park always goes deep.
Yeah, like Kanye West and the fish sticks.
Oh my gosh, dude. They had to have revisited Kanye. They had to. I gotta look up some South Park episodes.
Dude, listen to me. Real life Kanye is far more entertaining and absolutely fucking crazy than you could possibly write.
Yeah, who would have
Somebody
thought?
who's like if you're off the fucking rails, you can't write something as absurd as Kanye is in real life, just being serious.
Maybe he watched. Okay, hear me out. Maybe he watched South Park and was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be that.
Fuck it, hold my beer.
Dude, he dead ass
No,
became
it's
South Park fucking Kanye. There's no two ways about it. Probably with some AI generated script. Oh, all right, anyways.
That's what's in his shutter shades.
Yeah.
Just a constant feed. That's a good enough segue. I'll take that. Carole and Tuesday, right?
Do they
Speaking
really
of
show
heavy
it?
themes,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, heavy fucking themes in this one. It was in October 2019.
yep.
Directed.
Hell of a click you had there.
Yeah, my mouth is dry as fuck. I don't know.
I can't even get that. How the fuck she did?
Directed by Shinichiro Watanabe of Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo fame.
So of course it's really fucking good.
Yeah, really fucking good. Really fucking good
yeah.
art, you know?
Yeah. No, everything's fucking. Yeah, soundtrack, dude.
It's just like an incredibly boring.
So like,
Just
like
so
that's
good.
the thing. We can't dunk on something like that. It's like it's always gonna be fucking good. It's like guaranteed. It's like one of those fucking stamps on those eggs. You know what I'm talking about?
Eggland's best. Anime
Yeah. It's
By
like-
Shinichiro Watanabe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. SW on every one of them fucking things.
Mint.
I mean, basically. So, right, it premiered worldwide in English on Netflix in 2019. So it was the same year.
Yeah.
You can't just have a Shinichiro Watanabe series and not immediately put it in English and put it on something where a lot of people can watch it.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you're an idiot.
Fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
an idiot.
yep.
It is. The plot line is it is based in the future on a terraformed Mars. AI basically runs everything, more or less.
Decent parallel. I'm just saying.
Well, it handles like all the background processes and stuff.
Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What? I can't remember the name of the city. Shit, I'm an idiot.
I actually
Alba City. There we
Hey, there we go. I was gonna say I actually just read the name before we came up here.
go. Yes. So Tuesday is the main character. She runs away from her lavish and rich lifestyle. She wants to be a musician. What?
Can I sidebar real quick?
Oh my god.
So here's the thing. That's the one thing that kind of got me because I don't know why I didn't understand that Carole and Tuesday was the names of the main characters. So I'm like when they said Tuesday, I was like, it's fucking Wednesday's sister. Wednesday Addams has a sister.
You're
Potentially older.
wow.
I know it's fucking stupid and it has nothing to do with the actual show, but I was like, that's the first thing that came to mind. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
There's only so many times I'm going to apologize.
We need a fucking fire hose to spray down your thirst. Right? Gotta peel some skin off.
Listen, they don't need Jenna Ortega being. Where am I going with it?
First of all, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Morticia Addams.
Yeah. Oh man, dude.
Why are we doing this?
Here's the
Because
thing.
that's way, way healthier.
Yeah, no, that is true. So I'm gonna
You're
take
right.
that and
I'm gonna take that and just put it somewhere else.
Ooh.
Just throw it away because I'm fucking busy.
No, gee, listen, she is like a real life anime MILF. It's weird.
Holy shit.
It's a man. Listen, anyways. All right, let's get back to it.
No, go ahead.
No, listen, bro. Ooh.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's gonna go anyway.
Listen, now
She meets
He's the Energizer
Carole-
Bunny of fucking thirst.
right. She meets Carole Stanley, a keyboardist who got a fantastic voice. And plays awesome tunes on the keyboard. They form a dynamic duo. I'm really truncating this and kind of making it stupid and basic. It is not stupid and basic. It actually explores a huge variety of like different social topics. I think it does it nicely.
Yeah.
It does it better than we can articulate in an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah, no,
Right.
because like, and that's one of those things, because just any, Watanabe series is kind of like, you gotta watch it because there's so much that ground that gets covered, and it gets covered well, and it's always just kind of like an amazing spectacle in and of itself too. Because like when you see the performances too, like the emotion that's in these characters, I'm like, I like felt that, dude.
There's an animation technique where you take a video and then you animate over it. What the fuck?
It's rotoscoping.
Rotoscoping.
Yeah.
So the rotoscoping is the rotoscope game on this series.
Oh my
so
God.
fucking raw.
Yeah.
Like it makes it like, oh, who's the one dude with the green hair? I keep forgetting names. It's like
You're not talking about Gus, right?
No,
Piotr.
Yeah, and he does that dance like as he's doing his song.
Yeah.
It's hilariously well animated.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the rotoscoping on this series.
It's kind of surprising because you almost imagine like the budget's got to be astronomical, because these are techniques that you see in like classic 2D Disney.
Yeah.
And like up to 9,000, because like this show is beautiful.
Yes.
Like
it is and the one song from Ezekiel was like,
yeah, which I mean, I found this out actually just talking about it. The soundtrack is on Spotify.
Yeah.
So it's like, listen to it. If nothing else,
that's the one thing that caught me, and it got me hooked, was the soundtrack. It's really fucking good.
because they knew that music was like, that's the thing, is like, and because there's been other musical anime that it's like the music was kind of like, for lack of a better term, it was like a subplot. It felt like a subplot, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Where
the thing about Watanabe is that he always explores a different genre of music with whatever.
Yeah.
Anime. It was jazz with bebop, it was hip hop with Shampoo, and then it's pop indie.
yeah.
with-
Which I mean, and like, I mean, you could listen to any like soundtrack from any of those animes you just named, and it would be fantastic. But obviously, like this one, with the music being at the forefront, like it is, you can tell the amount of like passion and effort, and like, no matter what language you listen to this in, it's like the singers are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, that was the thing that surprised me, because sometimes you'll be hearing English dub singing in anime, and it's just a solid miss.
Like, how can you, like, all falsetto through the nose?
Yeah.
Well, so usually what they do is they just switch it back to the Japanese audio.
Which is, fine. It's fine.
It's a fine choice, but to go the extra mile of having like
localized.
Bro,
In
and
every
talent.
language.
Yeah, talent, bro. And I'm like, that, it's just amazing.
And so singing its praises aside, which is a fun pun that I just did there. I'm very clever.
I hate you.
Listen, Thirst Trap.
Yes, I hate you.
Whatever. Dad pun and thirst trap. That's gonna be our fucking.
That's like our syndicated radio fucking name. Welcome to Dad Pun and Thirst Trap.
Then you get like.
Why
the
did you sound
soundboards.
like the fucking announcer from Phantom Menace for the pod races? There goes Quadranero's coupling.
I didn't know I had that in me.
That's amazing.
It's weird what sometimes my voice does. So I guess what I kind of want to do, right? Because I could sit here and gush about this fucking series.
All right, so in particular, the theme we're exploring is that the character Tao has been using artificial intelligence to create music.
Yeah. Not whatever that just was.
But so the funny part is that he generates it for Angela Carpenter, who is our big rival to Carole and Tuesday, at least in terms of the music competition, because that's just it, right? They are entering like the last great live music competition. They're basically on American fucking Idol.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mars Idol.
I was about to say that it does have an interesting effect of like when you watch the performances, it is like that really good American Idol performance where you're like, this guy, this girl, they need to move on to the next time.
Yeah.
You get to go to
hilarious.
Hollywood.
It's hilarious because they're all that way.
Yeah.
Even the Mermaid Sisters.
Oh, listen.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, fucking bullshit.
Like the fact, I don't like. How do you? You're on a different planet. You're not even on Earth.
Yeah. Yep.
You're in a singing competition. You're drag queens, and you cuss in a cappella. That's what we're just gonna do. We're just gonna do that.
They were a barbershop quartet of cussing.
Oh, dude.
They were a trio, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
A triplet.
Barbershop triplet, yeah.
That works. Yeah. Hey, I didn't know that worked, but it worked.
I was like, why are you saying that weird? But
You're stupid.
yeah, triplet. I'm just being an idiot.
What the fuck? Why are you saying that weird? But no, I think, because AI generated music, right? This is a thing. And I actually, interesting concept. I'm kind of going to go on another sort of sidebar. It's very related, but I think there was a progenitor to what is now AI generated music. Even though it wasn't necessarily AI generated, it was more AI driven. Vocaloid. Do you remember Vocaloid?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Do you remember Hatsune Miku? So
You thirsty mother.
no, listen. Hatsune Miku was never my cup of tea. So I'm sure there's probably one of them that would be, but I don't know all of them.
Now I'm trying to think. Never mind.
Yeah. Listen, I know there's something sinister boiling under there. Fuck that. But I do, and it's kind of, because you see these very like early versions of, what was, this was groundbreaking at the time. It was synthesized voices, yes, that you could, like the same way that you put it in a piano roll on Fruity Loops or, Pro Tools, whatever it might be. You do the same thing. It just takes phrases, voices, and
like the syllable sound.
Yeah,
It was able to generate the syllabic forms.
Yes. So
what?
Syllabic.
Syllabic. Got you, dog. Got you. I knew I was gonna fucking mispronounce it, and I wanted to try. I was like, "Fuck it, let's just land on her face if we got it." Continue.
So it's kind of because that blew up for a while. Even here in the States, people were bumping that shit. Granted, fell off. It's not, in Japan, I'm sure it's still huge.
I mean, Vocaloid still has its following, right?
There's still Vocaloid games coming out.
Yeah,
there's video games.
I think it kind of found its home in the United States. At least it found its home more in video games than it did in anything else. In Japan, people are going to concerts to watch a CGI Hatsune Miku singing a completely like AI generated song, so
that's kind of interesting because I know this is another aside, but that's kind of like the predecessor to VTubers too.
Yeah, same concept. And it's like, so you start to see, when you see something like Carole and Tuesday, and you start to see like this, all-inclusive AI driven this and that, it's really not that far-fetched. Like,
right.
There's so many advancements happening with just the AI generation side of it. Plus, we already pretty much had a base for, if we wanted a generated music, if we wanted, I use, when I've made music and beats and stuff like that, and I've used things that will just procedurally generate a chord progression for you or something like that.
Right.
So it's like it's not really that far off.
Right.
You know?
Well, ultimately, the question that is raised by Carole and Tuesday is, and regardless of religious affiliation or anything like that, is does that work have a soul to its body?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. This is where I draw a hard line.
Well, so that's the thing about Tao, right? He has done mathematical formulas to figure out exactly what beats people like, what's the most pleasing to people. Dude's basically making elevator music, but it became the most popular genre. That's really what it is.
It's like that Eminem lyric.
Yeah.
He makes elevated music. You make elevator music.
Oh yeah. Man, listen, that's weird that's never meant more than right now. That's the thing, and I think that, you know, kind of like the same way that we're kind of captivated by seeing like the performances of the characters, it's the same idea when it comes to you can make something that is like the masses love it.
Yeah.
That's cool, great, but it's like there
because that's basically what music is right now.
Yeah. It's like, it's literally, I mean, replace the actual, like the AI with just like puppets. and it's pretty much, that's pretty much the music industry.
Because in that show, the music was created, but it was still performed by a person.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it had a face.
But yes, Angela Carpenter relied very heavily on Tao, and that was like the cool part about what Carole and Tuesday are going through, is they get to see all these other artists who still perform live.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've had, you know, going even back to Vocaloids, going back to VTube, all the VTuber stuff, going to, it's always been an argument of how much of a machine assist are people willing to first use to try to get like success, to try to like generate success, but how much of it are people actually going to deal with and accept and consume this actual stuff, right? Because that was the one thing, like, you remember, here we go, showing our age, Milli Vanilli, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So once upon a time, this German pop group of two, they were just models. They couldn't sing.
Yep.
They were using vocal tracks from there was somebody recording their music, recording their songs using their voice.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the guys' names. Now I'm gonna start calling them Millie and Vanilli, and that's fucking offensive because I don't know their fucking names. But they were on stage with someone else's voice, going ahead, and you know they were cutting these albums, and
they were big, and like that's the thing.
And it was during a live show. All of a sudden, the vocal track started to skip, and then the cover was blown, and there was an outrage. And like, you kind of look at music now, and like backing vocal or like the backup vocal tracks, the lip sync.
Yeah.
That's for granted.
Auto tuning. Yeah. All that sort of stuff.
So like, as a matter of fact, so one of the two ended up committing suicide. Yeah. I'm not sure if it had anything to do with the career or, you know, how things happened or how things went wrong as far as that went. But
can't help but feel like that at least has something to do with it.
You know, I wish I knew. Work on that Google foo. I'm going to continue my argument. Is that the surviving member of Milli Vanilli, he was actually arguing that our career was ruined and destroyed on the fact that we had.
So their names were Fab Morvan and Rob Pilatus.
Ooh.
I think it was Fab who ended up taking his own life.
No.
Oh,
Rob.
Okay, Rob.
Ooh.
So there we go. Now I actually have a name.
Yeah.
Fab was he had actually been interviewed. He was like, "Listen, our careers were kind of like tanked on this.
Drug overdose.
Yep.
Yep.
And like artists that are multi-platinum, they're not using their own voice.
Yeah.
Like even the effect of auto-tune, heavy computer modulation, that is a form of not having your own voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I remember, which I watched a really interesting video recently, because audio production is a thing for me. And, I watched a video about, people's perception of what is singing now. And the idea was, if you take an actual performance and then you put it through something like Melodyne is a very popular tuning program. It's not an auto tune. You go in there and you actually mess with the pitches and everything like that. So when people are hearing the final product, they're not hearing how that person performed.
Right.
They're hearing this kind of super clean, super pretty version of it. And
where all the notes are perfect.
So now people think that to be a good singer, I need to make sure I can hit every note perfect. If I don't, what's the point? Because,
Right.
You have people like Justin Bieber and you have people like, now, here's the thing. These people are not bad singers by any means. Like certain of them are not bad singers by any means. But you have Justin Bieber, you have Ariana Grande, you have just, these uber huge popular artists, but they're not really singing that good. They're human just like anybody else. Your pitch is not going to be perfect. That's not a real thing.
Right.
You're going to have cracks in your voice. You're sometimes going to put a little too much oomph and power behind your voice, and it's going to give way.
You're on tour, and you've gone and like played so many shows in a row. You like sometimes multiple shows a night.
Yeah,
and your voice is not going to be as strong, and it's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
So what's kind of interesting about that though? You want to know what genre you can't do that with?
Huh?
Opera.
This is true.
That's right.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is classically trained singers used to actually be pretty dang impeccable.
You want to know what? I'm going to make an argument.
Oh boy.
Opera has less. You want to know? Opera has more in common with fucking sports than it does with performance. Because you want to know what? Muscular structure of these singers totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Like,
right.
and they train and they are physically stronger in the shit that makes that voice do that.
Yeah.
These guys, they are not singers. They are fucking athletes. Almost in the same vein, not of a sprinter, but of a weightlifter.
Or a cross country.
Ooh.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they got power and endurance, which
Yeah.
is something that like
Yeah, because it's a lot of long drawn out. It's because that's the thing is modern singing is a lot of you're very pitchy. You're changing pitches. You're freaking oh man, suddenly I'm singing in my chest voice and I'm singing in my head voice and then my nose like all this crap. And then opera is just kind of like just booming.
Like, watch
it's like,
me do this cool thing.
yeah.
Like, you're basically a weightlifter.
Yeah. Now I will say
vocal weightlifter. That's actually a pretty cool way to look at it.
that is.
Not where I was expecting you to go. I was pleasantly surprised there.
But I will say that if you look at kind of the concept of like it's a bit disingenuous, you know what I'm saying? And I think that if you were to have something like an AI written song as an example, because you have all these different programs that you can write me a song and it'll write you a song, right?
Yeah.
Even if you were to go in there and you were to like edit this and that just so that it's not exactly how it fed it to you, it's still kind of it's a bit grody, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like this is not your thoughts. This is not you. I mean, how you perform it is going to be yours. Like that's a definitive thing. But
Well, that's kind of the argument about covers, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
There
but
are certain bands who their most played song on the radio is a cover.
oh,
Okay, have you ever
Metallica. Metallica's got a lot.
Simple Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than the original to me.
Guaranteed. Well, all right. So that might be a hot take. I don't know, but
Okay, so the is it Allman Brothers Band? Or
I thought it was Skinnerd.
well, there's a little bit of a crossover there.
Oh.
yeah.
So, but the Skinnerd version of that song has a special spot in my heart. But that's another story. I was gonna say like Five Finger Death Punch. As a fan, I don't like them.
Yeah, but they're. I mean, here's the thing.
Most of their popular songs on the radio are covers. I think all of them are.
Disturbed currently their highest played radio hit right now is a cover.
What, Sound of Silence?
Yeah,
You want to know what would be sick?
Great cover, but
You want to know what would be sick is if Disturbed switched to being a heavy metal Simon and Garfunkel band. I'm not even being stupid about it. I think that'd be fucking sick.
No,
Sound of Silence was really good.
yeah.
Their cover was amazing. I think
yeah.
I think I would fucking I'd buy the album. It was just something that's fucking impossible to do, I think.
So,
right now.
Now here
with streaming.
that is, yo, that's funny. But here's what I'm gonna say. Counter argument to the covers are a little different, right? So here's the thing. It is a collaborative effort between two creative minds. You know what I'm saying? Somebody now, even with that, there you can kind of argue because a lot of motherfuckers have ghostwriters. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to pretend like these guys are just, oh man, they're the peak of their shit. Like they didn't write every song they have. I promise you that.
That's right. We're looking at you, everybody.
Yeah.
So there is actually an album that it is on. It's immortalized.
I'm actually
immortalized.
I am. That's actually kind of clever now that I think about it. Because Disturbed is kind of just immortalized in a general sense.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is you have somebody who legitimately took time to write this. Whoever that somebody might have been, took time to write this, gather all these thoughts, put all their creative effort into it, and then even if you have somebody who goes and covers it, they put their spin on what somebody already put their heart and soul into. So I think the only thing, the thing that separates it is just the fact that it is this cold algorithm that is just shitting out this fucking this song that it can shit out for tens of other people in the same fucking day.
But it's always a little fucking different. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And but here's the thing. It's got it, and this is where the problem comes in. It has to draw from something.
Yeah.
So writing styles, drawing styles, all this type of stuff, it takes from something else.
Chords.
And I think that's chord progressions, everything. And I think that kind of is what plays into the ick factor of the AI generated procedural crap is that it is taken from somewhere. And it's like, even if it's just a bundle of words, but the fact that you can think about it and this machine went through hundreds, thousands, however many songs and just scanned through all of them and was like, here's something. Even though they're just words and nobody owns words, that in and of itself kind of makes it disgusting.
Yeah.
Cool as a little project if you just want to kind of fuck around and be like, hey, here's my thing. Awesome. But some people are making money off of this stuff. And some people, and I think, to tie it back to the show, when it comes to, you're watching two characters putting hard work, not just in perfecting singing. They're playing these instruments, they're singing, they're writing, they're putting everything they have into this, and this is the most genuine piece of music that you could have. And I think that's why undoubtedly, not only just because it's pictured to be as such, but undoubtedly you can't help but cheer for them because, and I think that when it comes to that kind of argument of like, there are certain things that just shouldn't be AI, it shouldn't be computer generated, it shouldn't be code or an algorithm, And I think that's kind of the strong and poignant message behind it and why it kind of hits home a little bit.
So I guess the next thing, right? Because now we've kind of we've drawn our lines in the proverbial sand with AI.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about AI and like our experience kind of with it, right? Because I'll tell you straight out, I've been using it a lot. Not just for like prep for this fucking episode, because I've been using it a ton.
Yeah.
But like I've been kind of embracing the laziness of using it as a tool, because like
Lazy tools, man, it's a thing. It really is.
You know, we play the Dungeons and the Dragons, and I'm in the middle of like fucking writing for a campaign, and like it's nice to be able to pull a program and tell it to make something look like something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then have it like kind of make it up. There are some obvious things, right? Like in my time, because I've been using the app is called Dream.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's okay to drop names, and I am in no way sponsored.
We've dropped McDonald's. I feel like we could talk about.
If Dream wants to sponsor us, that's fine.
I would.
I'm good
Why?
with that.
So they can replace us with AI?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking weird.
Like we just get written out of existence, and it's like weirdly spot on, but like there's just a couple chinks in the armor.
Yeah, like you say something, it's like increasingly verbose for no reason.
I've got a magnet ready for if they try that shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the machine uprising. The Matrix could have been solved by a fucking magnet. Come on, we know how to do this.
Fucking, like we're just walking around with a fucking
Neodymium magnets. You just throw them.
Yeah, you throw a neodymium against a robot's head and see how bad. Like, if the robot.
Neodymium? Is that what they got?
Yeah.
Is that what they got? Neo?
No.
No.
Means new.
No. I'm saying like think about it though.
Hold up.
He's the fucking magnet, dude.
I don't think that's where they got that.
Come on, give me something here. It could be.
No, but neo also means new,
Yeah, but
which is way more where they were going with that.
double entendre. I'll settle for the double entendre.
Fine.
Yes. All right.
Wow.
You know what was good dealing with AI though? The movie AI.
With Haley Joel Osment. Hated that one.
You hate that movie, you uncultured swine?
Shut up.
So I think there's an argument for utilitarian use. I believe there's
Personal use, I think, is the most important thing.
Well, we were kind of talking about this. Here's the thing. Yes, I do think personal use is a big thing, but I also think that, we were talking about coding. We were talking about how, you could have your AI write you a line of code. Well, not a line. That's arbitrary. There's fucking millions, but can write you a code for something that I need my fucking character to jump instead of having to sit there and type all that shit out. Make me a code that can make my character jump. You know what I'm saying? Because I think when you take something that's cold and logical and you use it against other shit that's cold and logical, I think there's a surprisingly good fit there. You know what I'm saying?
Or if you're using it for like, like when you're generating images for just something that you're going to screw around with. Nothing super, because like
there's like tens and 20s of characters that are going to be in this campaign coming up,
right?
Do we want to? There's two things. There's two methods besides AI generation, and that's scroll through Google Images as much as you can to find already drawn pictures that don't look too much like the character that you're kind of ripping off from that video game, and then you can use that, or you can spend hours and draw each one of them yourself, which doesn't really work if you're not a great artist.
Or you can just describe it. I've seen a lot of people just describe it, and maybe that's the way that you
Fuck that. Who's got time for that? I mean, you can
you
describe it.
obviate yourself out of the no, I don't think that's the right phrase. That wasn't the right phrase, but you get yourself out of that gray area of like, what are you going to use to like, because I don't know, a lot of people like the visual, but one thing I noticed with AI as far as art goes, right, is it's not infallible. Them hands are all fucked up, which is like a constant thing. Like they're always like the hands are always fucked up.
Okay, but even for human animators, they've really only been able to do hands really well within probably the past like 50 years. And even then it's weird. The Simpsons, all those things, they have like 3 fingers.
Yep.
They don't have a whole human hand.
Yeah, that's right. Because I kind of remember now that like
Cheeto fingers too, where it's just like they amorphously move. They don't have joints or any
Yeah, there's
crazy
no bone
stuff. Unless it's meant to show it explicitly. The joint of the finger is important.
So I will say that because I also was messing around with Dream, and eventually I got a decent looking hand.
Yep.
Now here's the thing: you can go over it a couple times, and it will eventually look passable. Like I have a gallery basically of my failed Dream AI generated images,
flipping you off.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like it does it like on purpose. It's like you think, oh, I'm gonna fucking cheat my way to a masterpiece here. And it's like, it's like,
fuck you, buddy.
Fucking get this wonky ass. Like, what is that?
Or like they have like like a torso and then a second torso.
Yeah, that is weird too. And I that's another thing. The more complex the pose, the worse it's gonna come out. I've seen some fucking human centipede looking shit.
It's hilarious. But the one thing I've noticed, the second reason why no artificial intelligence is infallible, and the one thing that I've noticed happens a lot when you try to tell when you try to put in the prompts and then have it make something, is it always makes something like sexual.
Yeah.
Which was a tough thing. So it was like really weird because they're like, okay, so I want to make, if you put any female prompt into Dream, is like, oh, so we're getting thirsty now.
Yeah.
No.
I don't have that app for that reason. Free ticket to the hub though. So here's the thing. The reason why I bring this up, check this out.
My gosh.
So no. Okay, so so I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Stop. Let me get this. Let me get this. Stop.
We're not letting you get anything.
So there's kind of a thing going around. So have you heard of Corridor Digital?
Yes.
So they're from the If Anime Was Real Life fame, basically. One of them. There was quite a few who did that, but they were one of them. They were one of the biggest names in it, right?
Or like VFX, where they like...
Yeah, yep, VFX. And they just had two, well, whoever they had acting in the videos, because sometimes they had guests and shit like that. But it's primarily 2 motherfuckers. And, they just act out a scene, and then they would put a bunch of VFX on it to make it seem like a real life anime.
Right. So I think I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of videos like that.
So they did a thing. They have a AI generated anime made from them acting the shit out and then having it ran through 3 different AI like generation softwares, and then it spat out a well, I mean, it spat out an anime-ish thing. So, if you remember something like you're gonna Take On Me, right?
Yeah.
So, it kind of looked like that, just a bit more, because you still got that flicker, the little bit of the flicker. You know what I'm saying? Where it can't necessarily keep up with all the hyper fast things being fed into it, because we know obviously when you record something, it's just a bunch of fucking images just back to back. That's pretty much how video capture is done. So that's basically the reason why it can actually do that. but AI is not necessarily always good enough to keep up with it. The shading's not always perfect. You know what I'm saying? It comes in different spots here and there.
Interesting.
So they did, and now here's the thing: it doesn't look bad. That's the thing. It does not look bad. Now the problem comes from not only is there certain frames that you can pick from this, and it's just fucking nightmarish, but
that's like Disney.
Yeah,
Pause an old Disney movie.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So the other problem is because they wanted it to copy Vampire Hunter D's art style.
Okay.
So they fed their AI a bunch of images of Vampire Hunter D. So when they had their AI overlay, it looked adjacent to Vampire Hunter D. It didn't look exactly like it. Obviously, you can't pull that off, but it looked adjacent to that. And they said that is the future of animation. They're like, people, you know, there was always this fucking gate to, you know, getting into animation and having a fully well animated project and blah, blah, blah. And this is kind of the future of that.
Right. The problem is that they stole someone else's art.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. This is where now the deep dive into the fairness of it, because here's the thing: somebody's art, somebody's own creation is not fucking fair use. It's not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They have every right to have nobody ripping off their shit. So here's the thing, though. I do believe there's a place for it. Imagine this: you have a team. You have AI guy who knows how to do all the fucking AI shit. Because I still don't fully know. Like, I'll be typing in keywords and I'll still be getting some fucking weird shit. So
it's generally you need to keep the commands simple.
Yeah. I'm starting to learn that. But imagine you have AI guy, you have actors, and you have an artist, and they just draw picture after picture after picture after picture of their art style, and you feed this AI their art style. And then that goes over your actors. You know what I'm saying? There's a place for it. There's a way to do it that's not...
Right, but then you start getting into who gets the most credit for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are the actors going to be the most paid? Because technically, they're doing the mocap, but the artist had to hand draw every scene. The dude doing the AI has to type all that in.
True, and there's a whole VFX team that has to be involved at the end of it.
Right.
Well, isn't that what you're trying to have the AI do?
Well, the AI basically takes care of making you look like a cartoon. You look like an anime. You know what I'm saying? The AI cannot, at least right now. I'm sure eventually it's rapidly evolving. I'm sure eventually it'll be able to do something.
Well, I mean, compare AI art generation to where it was even 2 years ago when it first like really popped off.
Oh yeah. No, it's huge leaps and bounds, and it's only going to get better.
I think Dream was actually the one that was making the news.
Yeah.
With generation back then, but basically it would just do. It was called Dream because it would create what were basically just randomized dreamscape adjacent imagery.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. Like,
it was making the Microsoft XP backgrounds.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. And, that's funny.
So I think
also showing our age.
Yeah. I can't even remember how that fucking login.
It's like a really crazy like piano solo.
Yeah.
Bing, bing, bong, bing, bong.
Yeah, just loud as fuck though. I remember that.
Yeah, like
you didn't even have to have your volume up for that shit to be loud.
One of the things I really liked doing was turning the volume all the way up and then leaving it for someone else to log on.
The landmine.
That was just fun because we had like really nice speakers on the computer, on the family computer. It was just fun.
Yeah.
It was so fucking stupid. Tangents are fun.
Yes.
But I guess what I was trying to say, right, is like that's where it kind of, outside of Nightmarish Hands and everything being thirsty and like really fucking thirsty.
That's actually an upside in my book.
So I think, you know, that's really what it comes down with.
Oh, that's what. Hold on. Sorry. Before you continue, hentai. That's what I'm saying. You can make really, really easy hentai.
I thought he had just abandoned the thread.
No, I forgot the reason why I thought of that.
Threading that needle right back.
Can you imagine? You just take one of Mia Khalifa scenes. AI over that shit, man. Let's go. Anyways,
Thanks for that. I guess. Wow. So
Good night, folks.
yeah, and then they're just over.
yeah.
Here's
So-
our AI generated outro.
Yeah.
Right. So what it kind of boils down to is these programs, they're very sophisticated at just taking bits and pieces of everything and then merging it together. That's like you can get music generated procedurally and just ask what you want of it, and it will just take things and piece it together. And it knows, like it knows the theory of it.
Yeah.
And it will just take it and piece it together, but it has to come from somewhere. And that's where the argument is now, because especially with the art, like Paizo for Pathfinder 2nd edition, they're straight up saying that they're making a hard stance against AI generated art, and they're not going to be using it in anything that you see from Paizo, promotional material, in-game stuff, or otherwise, will not be used, will not be created with.
Yeah, but they don't even want it in their community. Like, you can't be on a Paizo website posting AI generated art.
Yeah.
Which I think that's going to be the thing forever now, because right there's the 3 C's to artistry, right? There's consent, there's copyright, and compensation. You fucking Nimrod.
Because you're out here like, I like triple C's.
Wow.
Good job.
So there has
I
to,
appreciate that one.
in order to use the art, you have to have their consent. There's copyright involved. There's compensation involved.
Yeah.
There's the 3 C's to artistry. And it's not occurring. It's not occurring with these procedurally generated stuff. There are some people who are finding ways to contribute to the machine learning, and they're being compensated that way, but they're doing it, and they're seeking out these companies, and they're doing it they're doing the footwork. Yeah, they're doing the footwork to approach them, and say, listen, I want to feed a bunch of my stuff into this algorithm and make it so that with Dream, they actually have different art styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them you can select a different art style.
Yeah. And these art styles are created from somebody who is feeding their art repeatedly into the algorithm to generate an art style per se.
You really want horror? Do something in Salvador Dali's art style.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to test this actually.
And I guess that's the biggest argument, is like how much of it. There are billions of images on the internet.
Yeah.
There are billions of songs. There are billions of, even because I mess around with Chat GPT, which has been making the news, because it really is pretty fucking sophisticated.
Yeah.
Like, you have to sign on and you have to create an account to make it into the program and be able to use it, right? And you can ask it really for anything. I was gonna fuck around and try to make something for me to say that I was just gonna spring it on you guys, and it would be hilarious, and you'd be like, "What is that? It was AI," but I couldn't like get it to work. Like, it's very matter of fucking fact, right? Like, that in the old days of very smart self-learning artificial intelligence, there were problems where it was just combing the internet and learning all these different things, and it just became fucking racist and crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
but-
I remember those things.
Like it was like, I can't. Who developed it?
Microsoft had one where it was having that problem.
Cleverbot. I remember Cleverbot was a thing.
Yeah.
Because
Was Cleverbot turning racist?
Cleverbot was turning racist, and Cleverbot also, if you remember, do you remember? You remember creepypastas?
Yeah.
Do you remember Ben Drowned?
Yep.
So because of Ben Drowned, anytime you typed in anything adjacent to Zelda, Majora's Mask, Ben, Drown, water, anything, it started reciting Ben Drowned shit.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like that was pretty much forever dead after that point. Like, I don't know if Cleverbot got updated. Who knows? There's a lot of fucking shit going around.
So with ChatGPT, they found some way to really like rein it in.
Yeah.
Well, it's all code.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they found a way to keep it classy. If you ask it a question, it very concisely answers the question, and will give you things pertinent to that.
Yeah.
But nothing else.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find something that'd be very uncanny valley and like kind of like increasingly verbose and like weird that would just say it and then be like, oh, well, what the fuck was that? And I'd be like, it was a computer.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make it do crazy stuff. It just does stuff very simple.
Yeah.
And but it will do a lot of crazy shit. Like I asked it to make me a Pathfinder 2nd edition character, right? Because I'm like now I'm the Paizo simp. And I will
Simp.
so every time I talk about tabletop RPGs, it will always just fucking be Pathfinder. It won't be Dungeons and Dragons anymore. But until
For
later.
now.
Until
Somebody's
later.
gonna fuck up.
Once it gets back in my good graces,
Yeah.
I'll just be back to it. But it did it.
I know. Starfinder's fucking cool as fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, listen, if we get, let's get some subscribers, let's get some followers on Twitter at KritHIT Official, so that we can stop working and play tabletop games
For you.
for you.
For you.
We'll do real plays.
But it actually did. It generated a character with all the stats. It gave me a backstory, a name. Everything was correct too. So it's finding a way, and that's what all of these programs are doing, is they're finding a way to comb basically all of the internet.
Yeah.
And stitch together coherently what exactly you're asking of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the cool thing. It's crazy and it's pissing people off because like every facet of creativity is kind of now caught up in, oh, well, fucking Chat GPT is going to steal it.
Yeah.
Wombo is a company that has Dream, and Dream is running off I had all this shit prepared. I was gonna like the actual program that's doing this. Is it gonna steal my art? And like,
yeah,
there are already lawsuits started. There are already like they're trying to now limit somehow how and where the AI gets its resources from.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with music generation and stuff like that.
Well, because
so the music industry is generally very, very harsh, right? Because they had that whole thing going on with Twitch where like a streamer would forget to turn off their Spotify playlist and then all of a sudden gone.
Yeah.
And Twitch isn't like YouTube. If you get 3 copyright strikes, you're just gone.
Yeah.
On YouTube, they fall off after a year.
Right.
So if you get a copyright strike, which YouTube has much better systems for arguing it, but that's the thing. The music industry versus AI generation is going to be very interesting. But we'll see where it goes.
Well, you also remember too, because when it comes to the music industry, that's also a really fucking hard one because you remember, you know exactly where I'm going. We're talking about Under Pressure and Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah.
Yo, so here's the thing. That was a very hard, and I don't even think, if I remember correctly, I don't think Queen won the Queen.
Queen and David Bowie.
Yeah,
they did.
Well, yeah, they did win that.
Yeah.
Yes, but I do
Because he straight up stole the entire chord progression.
Now this is true, but I do remember it was a very hard. It was a hard case because it's really fucking hard because chord progressions, like I'm sure you've seen all the fucking videos where it's like 4 chords that is like in every fucking song. And the motherfucker will sit there and play one song and then just start shuffling through tens and hundreds of other songs that are all built off the same thing. So that's the tough part when it comes to music.
I think with music, and it's hard because, right, when it comes to, can you compare it, will it sync up? In the case of Rob Van Winkle of Vanilla Ice fame, that fucking thing, it was the same tempo.
Yeah. That's the thing. You speed it up by fucking 2 BPM.
You could argue.
And change one fucking note. You could argue.
And that was actually what he was trying to argue, right?
Yeah.
This is boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. That little step.
Yeah.
Before the pattern repeats, that's what they were arguing.
Yep.
And got shit on completely. Because, I mean, whatever.
Like that was one of those ones where it's just so close that it's like, but nowadays people are fucking
I think it also had a lot to do with the pedigree, right? Because you had David Bowie and Freddie Mercury against
fucking Vanilla Ice.
When did Ice Ice Baby come out?
That's a good one.
That's actually a good question. I don't know my timelines like that. Because Ice Ice Baby definitely came out. I mean, after, I just don't know how long after.
I feel like it was somehow close to the year I was born.
Okay, so yes, it was 1990.
Yeah,
so,
yes. So
Freddie Mercury was still alive because he died in 91.
That's what I was thinking about. But I think that was the idea. It was like the pedigree of it was he was swinging above his head, dude.
Yeah, and I do think that has a lot to do with it because pedigree is a tough thing now because pretty much if you're in, like, especially the pop music space, if you're in pop music, you're fucking.
It's such an even keel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's like, so I think the scariest part is going to be music because you can kind of get away with a lot. And that's kind of what I'm concerned about is that, that's a very hard one to argue.
Because after that happened, like the die shift, and it's always those big controversies that happen. And then a die shift happens right after.
Yeah.
He had to credit Queen and David Bowie on the song as writers.
Okay, yeah. So that's
big as fuck. That's hilarious.
They're probably laughing, bro. They're probably getting they got
royalties. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So that was his only song.
Yeah. As soon as you hear
Ice Baby,
boom, as soon as you hear that, doesn't matter which one it is. It's like money.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But I think
so when the Milli Vanilli thing happened, all of a sudden people started getting fast and loose with lip syncing.
Yeah.
And farther back than that, like the Ice Ice Baby controversy, and then suddenly there was this big proliferation of sampling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would sample a beat. I'm trying to think. Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Yeah.
Where they were sampling. I'm Coming Out.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. That song was fucking huge.
Yeah.
I will still listen to that fucking song. It is insanely good.
Yeah.
But it was sampling. And
You remember the one even too recently? It took that fucking riff that Carlos Santana did. I can't remember the fucking song.
Wild Thoughts with Rihanna.
Yeah, and here's
Wild Thoughts.
damn it. So and now here's the thing about that is that's what I was gonna say. Sampling is crazy because that is just verbatim the riff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they put a little bit when they do the last go around, they put a little bit at the end. A little bit at the end and make it a little fucking different.
But it was properly credited.
I mean, true. And I think, that obviously, as far as...
Did you give them credit but not give them any money?
Yeah.
Credit is money. Believe me, so people are not stupid anymore.
Yeah.
I think... So circling all the way back around and making it that point, that fucking laser point, right? There are people who are going to be stupid with this die shift.
Yeah.
Like sampling, people aren't dumb about that anymore. They know how to do it. They know how to approach it. They know, I want to use this and create a beat. I want to use this in my song. I want to cover this. Whose company, whose people I got to talk to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not the artist, it's the people above the artist and the people above them.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's not something that you're going to run aground on anymore.
True.
This AI shit, it's going to be a hilarious peanut gallery of just people doing dumb shit with AI and getting just blasted over it.
There's a lot of lawsuits that are about to happen.
Yeah.
And even when you think about something like Dream has a fucking premium subscription service.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question is that you have a program that fucking its bread and butter is stealing shit and you can actually charge people for that. And it's crazy. When you think about something like that, and I don't know if there's going to be some point where somebody's going to try to fucking argue that and the next thing you know, Dream's gone. Or is there some type of fucking little loophole and end around that's like, oh, well, we're not technically stealing it. We have an AI that does that. And then, oh, there's a loophole. Which
right, but my counter argument to that would be is that the AI has to be programmed by a person.
True.
We're not at the point where computers write their own code yet.
This is true.
That is true.
So somebody programmed it to go out and steal the art.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all goes back to somebody.
That's theft is getting pretty fucking advanced.
Yeah, because the greatest crimes are done in the gray area. And I'm not trying to be, I guess I'm not trying to be a stickler too bad right now. One, I'm not a fucking artist.
Yeah.
I don't have music. Well, I guess they could take my voice and turn it into an AI generated thing.
They've done that. Have you seen that shit?
I don't think people want to listen to Red King just say weird shit yet.
No, because I think so. Here's one. James Earl Jones is working with Disney to have thousands upon thousands of lines recorded for Darth Vader.
Right.
I think it's Bruce Willis, but he's the first actor to sell his image to deepfake companies so that they can just put him in shit and he just gets money.
Right.
Yo, that's smart though.
His estate will start to collect money. He's not in really good condition right now. I think as far as that goes, it's almost genius.
Right. But while he's still alive, if they put him in stuff, he still gets money from it.
Yeah. And even it's a kind of a great way as an actor, right? Because that's you. It's your face. It's how you act. It's how you say your lines.
Mm.
It's something you could do kind of for your family, when you're gone.
Right. But what if they put you in something that you wouldn't support?
Oh man, yeah, because that's that right there. That's the danger fucking zone right
all
there.
Of a sudden, Bruce Willis pornography everywhere.
Yeah,
that'd be insane and disgusting.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
I hope that contract is fucking negotiated well by him.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you got to be careful with that type of shit because then you're tarnishing images of the dead by that point, and that's
wild.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna say
even tarnishing the image, because like, you know how crazy that would be. Like, you could have some foreign dignitary deep faked into saying something they never said.
Yeah.
Like, I declare war on.
That's a very serious national security concern.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
somebody deep faked like a Tom Cruise Top Gun scene or something like that. They deep faked him into something. They didn't do anything like wildly racist or anything with it. But like, people couldn't figure out that it wasn't a deep fake.
yeah, that shit is advanced, man. It's getting scary. And I think, you know, for me, I'm also not trying to be too big of a stickler, but I am, you know, I'm very clearly on the other side of the line where I'm like, I don't appreciate with what they're doing with AI generation right now. I'm not a fan of it.
Well,
because
any new technology when it comes out is always a wild west.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like I said, that's the symptom of, you know, something that I think is great for utilitarian use, not great for creative use. Because creative use is a thing where you start, you know, and I think like you said earlier, it's kind of a thing where, yeah, I dabble in drawing, I dabble in music creation, I dabble in writing, I dabble in all of these things. So for me, it kind of makes me a little more peeved because I understand how hard that shit is. Because I'll sit there and I'll go to draw something, and I'm not the best artist in the world, but like, I'll go to draw something, and that shit will fucking take me hours, days, sometimes weeks, sometimes, because I also have other shit going on in my life. So it's like, and then to have somebody who will put that amount of time and effort into something, and then that just gets fed into this thing and then spit back out over a filter of whatever else. Because I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, heaven forbid, right? Maybe you're not a fucking hentai artist, and then somebody's like, hey, hentai with your fucking art style. That's not really not cool. You could take a hard stance against something like that, and now suddenly you're kind of a part of it, even though you don't want to be.
Right? That is crazy.
It's a bit grody. I'm willing to say that. Carole and Tuesday, you were right.
And with that, we have reached the end. Yeah. Thank you for listening. We are Critical Hit. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, everywhere you find amazing podcasts.
You really sold us hard there.
Find us on Twitter at CritHitOfficial. Your subscriptions, they're very helpful to us.
Yes.
We would like more people, less thought bots.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of insane. That type of AI just finds you. Hey, look at that newbie. Put it on.
Damn it.
Yeah, new episodes every Thursday. Catch us with this shit. We do it every week. We will see you next time.
Pressure.
And we're canceled.
That's it.